Relationship advice. My 25 male girlfriend, 24 female, just accused me of cheating on her with my friend, 20 male. I am the lead vocalist of a band, and, for the record, I am not gay. I do not hold anything against LGBTQ people, but I am straight, and I have never cheated, or given my girlfriend a reason to think I was. My girlfriend has had bad previous relationships before though. Recently, because the pandemic has been calmed down somewhat, and because we all needed the extra money, we played at a club in the city where I live. I don't want to give too many details here, but my friend, who is the guitarist of the group, is suicidal, mentally ill, and cuts himself frequently. There is not much I can do, because he refuses to get help and is stubborn as a little mule, though it eats me alive daily, knowing what he does to himself. After our show, my friend had a complete mental breakdown and started sobbing backstage, and trying to reopen the stitches that he has over some deep cuts. I was trying to comfort and restrain him at the same time, so I bear hugged him, and he hugged me back and just sort of let himself go. I was trying to comfort him, and then my girlfriend came running out of nowhere, and she grabbed my arm, pulled me up, and accused me of cheating. As you can understand, I was confused by this, and she accused me of cheating on her with my friend behind her back, and using her for money, even though I earn more than her, before shoving me away and walking off. I got another band member to watch over the guitarist and followed her back home. We argued for hours over the whole thing until we eventually just went our separate ways. She's in the bedroom, and I'm on the couch as I write this. Can somebody tell me what to do? I don't want our relationship to be ruined just because I was trying to be a good friend. Now for the top comments. Hey 24 female, I know you think I cheated, but if I can't even comfort someone close to me with life-threatening issues without you blowing up, I can't see myself to continue this relationship. Would be a start. I agree with this statement so much. This person you're dating caused a scene while you were trying to comfort a friend. This friend could potentially have some trauma added on from this situation alone, and not want to express his feelings now. She needs to apologize to both you and him for how she acted. There's nothing that you need to do in this situation. You did nothing wrong. I agree with the projecting comments on here too. A lot of societies basically don't understand or recognize the male need for physical contact or bonding, regardless of who they're receiving it from. This includes simple hugs. OP's girlfriend is in the wrong, no doubt. But at the same time, this also raises other issues in society at large, where it's assumed that the only contact a man can have is sexual contact with a partner. Sounds like your girlfriend is very toxic. If you can't show compassion to a friend without her going ballistic, then get her out of your life ASAP. It doesn't matter if your bandmate is male or female, a hug is something everyone needs sometimes. I completely agree. It sounds like she is not only toxic, but insecure, jealous and almost paranoid. Unless she finds help to deal with her problems, there will always be similar cases in the future. You don't want to stop hugging your friends or having normal human relationships without fearing that she will freak out. Time to move on or help her find a therapist. Is it possible she is projecting back onto you? By projecting, I mean, is it possible she cheated, and is so insecure she thinks you will too? I've had experience with this, and they tend to stretch scenarios of a string bean scenario that is purely innocent involving care for another, and turn it into volcanoes of mass destruction. As you said, if one is straight, how can it actually be true? Whatever you do, sir, do not apologize for caring for your friend. Even in sarcasm. It's a very simple line, and she is crossing it extremely poorly. Projecting is the word you were looking to use. Also, 100% agree. Next story is titled, I, 20 male, look like my girlfriend's, 21 female, dead boyfriend. Hey guys, so I started dating my girlfriend a few weeks ago, after meeting her at the library. At the time, we instantly clicked well together, and started dating shortly after. I think this is important to mention, but we've been having a lot of and I didn't think too much of it because, 1, it was great, and 2, I really like her lol. Then something really weird had happened the last 2 times we had where she just started sobbing in the middle of it. This had me really shook, so I immediately stopped and started comforting her, and asked her what was wrong, and she just refused to tell me anything was wrong, when clearly something was. Anyways, flash forward a bit, and I'm chilling at work with nothing to do at work, and I guess I was in a nosy mood that day, because I just looked for her Insta, and when I found it, I started browsing through it, and I see this photo of her with this dude that looks almost exactly like me. The resemblance was like uncanny, and it had me shook for a little bit. Then I started reading the comments, and they're all variations of RIP or taken too soon etc. etc. After that, everything made sense to me. I'm pretty sure she's still grieving, because while I don't know exactly the date of when we meet, I know that it's at least a couple of weeks after that photo was posted, so I'm pretty sure the dude passed away fairly recently. I really like her, but man, I don't think her being with me is good for her mental health at all, and I don't know what to do. Do you guys have any recommendations on what I should do? 'Cause I'm really lost here. Now for the top advice. My suggestion would be to try gently talking to her. I lost my husband 3.5 years ago, and around the 10-month mark, I thought I was ready to be in another relationship and starting dating a guy that I had been friends with for years. It turns out I wasn't anywhere near ready to move on at all. The grief doesn't even really start to appear properly until the end of the first year, second year, but I was so terrified of being alone forever that I jumped the gun, and pushed myself when I still had so much to process. The crying during us, she's definitely still grieving him. The fact you guys look very similar, that could be inadvertent, maybe she just has a type, I know I do. That might also have a bit to do with upsetting her during us. The only way you will find out is to speak to her. The way you've written this post, it sounds like you're a caring person, so have that gentle conversation with her. Ask her if she's really ready to be with someone else again and remind her there's no judgment. Good luck. Thank you so much for your kind words. I really hope things are going much better for you now, especially with how crazy this year has been. Also, thank you so much for the advice. Every comment is just some variation of break it off, and it has me going okay, but how? 'Cause I really don't want to make things worse, and I don't think she's ready to be in a relationship so soon, but I'll definitely try to have a conversation with her and be as gentle and as open as possible, so things don't get worse. Again, thank you so much for the advice. She may not realize that she's not ready to be with someone else yet. When I was in that next relationship, I was sure I was ready and definitely in denial. But it took me a while to realize. She's lucky that she has you, because you seem like a really great guy. Maybe start by saying you're worried about her, and hopefully she'll be able to be open and honest with you. I am doing a lot better now, but only because I've spent a lot of time on my own. I haven't been in another relationship since, and put the hard work into working on my grief and being a mother to my 2 kids. And yes, this year has been bonkers. No doubt she's still grieving. But I don't think that necessarily means you have to break it off. Talk with her and let her tell you her actual thoughts, instead of making up what you think she's thinking. Yeah, you are one hell of a rebound. I cannot imagine how this will work out well for you. Man, I don't even care how things end up for me, I'm just worried for her mental health. Just want to say that you seem like a really nice person from what I've read. Thank you for being so empathetic and kind. Now for the final story. I'm 29 male, considering divorcing my wife, 32 female, over something that happened 8 years ago. I'm sad and confused and need help. I've been with my wife for 8 years, married for 5. We have a 2-year-old daughter, and overall, have a healthy relationship. However, there's something that's eating me up inside that I can't seem to move past. I met her while she was still with her boyfriend at the time. They had been together for 5 years and were going through a breakup. I may have been a rebound, but it worked out, so whatever. Shortly after they broke up, we got serious and started dating exclusively. 6 months later is when it happened. One night, she went ghost and I couldn't reach her. Eventually, at 10 p.m., she called me and told me she was at the library studying and lost track of time. I trusted her. Fast forward a few months later and she confessed what really happened. Turns out she got a call from her ex-boyfriend asking her to come over and chat with him and his mother who was in town. Basically, it was a nasty breakup with a lot of loose ends, and he asked if she could come over and talk about stuff and get closure after such a long relationship. So, she did. And didn't tell me. She also told me she fell asleep on the couch watching a movie and drove home in the morning. To this day, she swears up and down there was no contact, no S or kissing of any kind, no cheating, etc. Just a massive lie and breach of trust plus poor judgment, and massively regrets not being honest with me. She told me she went over there because she felt bad. His mother called her and told her he was suicidal and severely depressed about their breakup, so she says she went over there to help him, but told him expressly that there was no getting back together, and was in a relationship and only doing it to help him find closure. Basically, she lied to me about going over and sleeping over at her ex-boyfriend's house. I've pressed her on this for years, and she swears on her life she never cheated on me, only that she told me a huge lie that she will forever regret. However, my trust is broken. It keeps coming up in my head and I can't help but feel I'm being lied to, even though we've discussed this for years. I've spent all this time trying to move past it and forgive her. And I do, intermittently. But some days like today, I just fall apart over it. We're married, have a beautiful daughter, and it pains me to be in pain over this one-time situation that happened nearly a decade ago. At the end of the day, I decided to forgive her, get married, and start a family with her. So being in this situation is also my fault for not leaving her at the time. I think we could possibly work through it, but I'm also not sure how. She has broken down crying and pleading with me several times over the years to please believe her, that she has never once cheated on me. Just made a huge mistake by deceiving me that one time during the first year of our relationship. What can I do? We talk about it, but it never goes anywhere beyond her crying and me telling her it's hard to trust her. Now for the top advice. It's been 8 years, and you are married. You married her even after you first had your doubts. That is quite ludicrous to me. You've been torturing yourself, and probably her, over this for 8 years. I would advise therapy. I have no idea why you married her if you thought she cheated, and I have no idea why you chose to have a child if you thought she cheated. Agreed. Why keep interrogating her over this if you chose to move past it? I could see this eating you up if she kept lying to you about stuff and gave you reasons not to trust her in the present, but that doesn't sound like the case here. If you are considering divorce solely over this past event, the root of your anger is likely something else, and you are fixating on this one thing. Has she done anything else in the 8 years since? Because if not, you need to head to counseling. How do you even bring this up? Is it always in your head? You are hardcore focusing on this and bringing it up over and over again, and getting in fights about it. You don't believe her, which is why you keep bringing it up. If this was something that happened recently, I would be a little gentler in my response. But to keep getting in fights with your wife over and over for 7 years, that's really unfair to her. She definitely was dishonest, but 7 years later you're thinking about divorcing her because of it? You are consistently getting in arguments where she breaks down crying, begging forgiveness, pleading with you that she tells you the truth. Are you sure you're not punishing her because you don't believe her? Counseling for you separately, and also couples counseling, would be very helpful. Also, stop telling yourself that you forgive her. You haven't, and being dishonest to yourself about it isn't going to help. I hope it works out for you, but if you can't let go, please divorce her already. This is not healthy for either of you. At the end of the day, I decided to forgive her. But then you didn't. You haven't forgiven her. You keep bringing it up. That's not forgiveness. That's picking at the wound. You need to see a therapist, for your own sake. Full offense dude, but this sounds absolutely ridiculous. She told one lie 8 years ago and you have no proof she cheated, and you want to break up your family over that? I would understand if she is currently still acting sketchy and giving you hints of cheating, but if this is the only incident in 8 years, then you need to get over yourself and get some therapy. Go to couples counseling or go to therapy by yourself, but you need to get over it. And that's it for this video guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. Turn the notification on to get updated on my latest posts. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day everyone.